with this opportunity of people now picking up cycling and running, try and just showing them that there is this sport out there and putting it in people's mind. Because if you can't see it, you don't know about it.
Right. And I think that's one of the things Ironman has tried to do with the Ironman VR races is okay, you know what, we're still going to do something. We're going to make it free. We're going to try to do the entry level drug is what I kind of call it. You can do it for free. All you have to do is you just submit your results. You can be part of a bigger thing. And, you know, and every week during the coronavirus that we're not having races, we're going to do this and put it out for free. And I think we'll have to see if it works.
I don't know whether it's the new athletes who haven't ever done a triathlon or a duathlon before. I have a feeling it's the existing community that is using those races as their community fix and their race fix and feeling like they are still training and achieving towards something, whether we are opening it up to John Smith, who found his bike at the back of the garage and has been riding. There was an article that came out in the UK that actually said the pandemic for people taking up sport newly, so for people starting cycling and running, has been a lot more on the men's side than the women's side. Now, this is interesting because you're daddy daycare, so you probably have a different perception on that because you've taken on the role of home care, where there would be this perception that the females have had to take on that role as well of holding down their job and looking after the kids and then not being able to take up the sport.
The biggest way to change or move something forward is do what you want others to do, and you got to do it yourself. You know, something that I've been an advocate for is every year is, you know, I kind of say, okay, I want to get 3 to 5 more people involved in triathlon. Here I am pro at the top, but you kind of, you know, I've gotten neighbors to do their first race. I've gotten friends to do their first race. You used to run, go for a few runs and kind of sucker them in to do a triathlon. I mean, I've definitely worked on that side to grow the sport because I think the sport is great. It's one of those where I always feel that we are our biggest advocates, and especially us at the top. At times we have to be the ones that just grab the bull by the horns and say, hey, you know what? I don't like the way things are done. So I'm going to do it my way, which is I'm going to go out there. I'm going to, take a couple of my friends. One of my neighbors, he was a marathoner, and I got him to do a half Ironman. I always say that why are we not capturing people right after they finish a major marathon, whether it be London Marathon, Chicago Marathon? How do we get those people right after they finish it to come, okay, you know what? How about I only have to do 10-mile runs and then, or 5-mile runs even for an Olympic distance, and we can swim, learn how to swim and do a little biking. And
I really like that idea, and I've probably kind of been doing it, but not as a structure as I'm going to get X number of people into the sport. If all the race and event organizers could work together, and every pro athlete was given 3 entries into a race that they could give to somebody who's not done the sport before, to get them into the sport.
That would be great.
And you can then go to whatever level you want to help them, coaching and stuff like that.
I like that idea. I think it's absolutely a phenomenal idea. That is the essence of it, because so many people look up to us because we are professionals. We are at the top of the sport. We are the ones pushing the sport forward. And so many of us feel like we are dragging it on our own shoulders, trying to, make the sport maybe a little bigger than we want it, than it currently is. And the operations of the PTO is kind of this, sense of let's all work together because we're all doing similar things, parallel things. Let's kind of all get on the same highway and maybe we can really shoot forward.
And the other thing with that, it breaks down that entry barrier in terms of finances. I think that puts some people off sometimes as well.
We kind of shoot ourselves in the foot in that area because it's like so many of us, and I always say, you want to see some of the least prepared bikes, you go to the pro rack. Especially the last few years, the shoestrings have definitely gotten tighter, and now I don't know what the sport's going to look like in 2 years.
Yeah.
How many professionals have the opportunity like you have to live, with your sister or someplace where it's cheaper rent? There's only such an age you can move back home and be like, yeah, I'm going to be on the couch until we start racing again.
Are you trying to imply that I'm far too old to be living, technically not at home. I made the decision that I wasn't going to live with my parents, but I'm very conscious that I'm approaching a birthday in a few months. I need to be out of my sister's house before I have that birthday, because it's not going to feel good. But yeah, there's a lot of athletes that maybe don't have that, or maybe or with partners who are in difficult situations with jobs as well at the moment and all of that. And so, yeah, it's not easy. It will be interesting to see come the end of this year and into next year who survives. For maybe this year, a lot of sponsorships have been put on hold or have been reduced, but, much like the corporate world of furloughing staff and things like that. But I don't think it's going to improve next year because people at the companies and brands are still going to be trying to recuperate costs and stuff. And so this isn't just about surviving this year, this is surviving then going into next year, and what does that look like? And that's pretty scary.
When does that rusty resume come out? I mean, I'm in you're kind of looking at it, it's like, so when do I start looking at my engineering resume?